Hey, today I want to show you this amazing instrument that I love called the SH-2000. It is from Roland. It's a synthesizer from 1973. Now realize how far back that is, right? That is, must have been a very different world. And when you play this instrument, instantly it just takes you back. It's one of those things where there's nothing like it. There's nothing like actually turning on this instrument and getting lost in its really raw sound. Even though it's a simple instrument, it's very expressive. It was one of the first ones that featured an aftertouch feature. So you press a key, you hear the sound, right? But you keep pressing it and sort of, you can massage the key. And from that information, you can control certain things like volume and vibrato and the filter. So let's check it out together. So here it is, the SH-2000. So first, when you look at it, it has these, it looks like these switches in the front, kind of like an organ. And in fact, there are presets, and it says singing voice, space reed, frogman, fuzz guitar. Now, it's 1973. It's a very simple synthesizer, so you're not going to get realistic sounds out of it. But it sounds really strange and very, very expressive again. So if I press, I'm in singing voice right now. It's actually a good example of how expressive the instrument is. So if I press a key, okay, you can hear it now. I'm massaging the key essentially. Now, there's a bar inside the instrument, a long bar. And I don't know if it was wood, but there's a wood in there for sure. And this bar, essentially, when you press the key and you massage it, it pushes a spring somewhere, and that gets red, almost like a knob, right? And that controls stuff. But it's really the whole thing. It's not per note. It's the whole keyboard has an aftertouch, right? So singing voice and xylophone. Okay, now let's get closer to the instrument now, with settings, of course, and let's try some of the sounds again, right? So the xylophone I was talking about earlier, vibraphone. On station EP, you're going to hear that sound quite a bit. Now, from here, you can do some very interesting things. You can control vibrato here. So what happens is, I have modulation rate here. Right, very slow, wow, wow, wow. So if I press the key, I control it as well. Let's see what else we have. Fuzz guitar. So right here, there's a transpose button here. So, or a toggle goes from low, medium, and to high. So, you know, basically it transposes the keyboard one octave down or up. And I like playing with this as you press a key. It has this very quick, you know, kind of switch. Okay, now what else we can do in here is we also have a forgot the name for it in English, but essentially we have the speed between notes, right? So super slow, super slow. And there you go. modulation rate. Hawaiian guitar. Not so much a guitar, right? Now, let's turn it down for a second. Maybe we can make a loop, right? Maybe we can build up a song. Let me switch camera here. Look what it looks like. So right now, I have all these cables around me. It's kind of funny, right? So I have a GoPro here. This is camera number 4, actually, right? So I have 4 cameras. Check it out. I have number 1. Hello. Number 2. I zoomed in on here, and I can change that, so you can go really, really close to back. Camera 3 is sort of like how I speak to you. I like this camera. I like the lens. It's really nice. And then 4 is, boom. 4 is the GoPro, right? So anyway, I'm going to show you how I make music. There's a looper called a 95,000 from Electro-Harmonix. It's really, really interesting. It's a 6-track. It's almost like a multi-track, like back in the day, like the cassette, like 4 tracks. It has 6 tracks, and but it's a looper. It's a really powerful looper. You can make loops that are just a few seconds, like a looper that you're used to, or you can make a loop that's minutes long, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever. That means you can actually like record a whole song basically in it, and then go back and lay different tracks on top. 6 total. And so I'm going to switch to the camera, the head view, and I will show you how I make music with the looper. All right, so I was telling you about the 95,000. Here it is. All right, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so you can arm the tracks to record to them. There's also a mix down, kind of like what you can take tracks and sort of bounce them into a mix down here to free more tracks. But really, I mean, I see people's pictures of, videos of what they make these days with the computers. They have like 1 million tracks. I don't. Like, Station has just a few tracks in it for each song. I just can't imagine having too many tracks. So anyway, this is a looper, right? So I'm gonna show you a loop that was recorded earlier, and I played that earlier into the episode actually. There you go. So I turned down all the volumes, right? And if I go up to 1 here, 1, you hear strings. And then I have piano right here. See that? It's like you have a mixer, a whole recorder here. Here I have a electric piano as well. Okay, I'm getting lost here. Let's find an empty loop. Okay, 23 is empty. You see how it works here? This is basically a pedal, like a guitar pedal. You can put it on the floor and you can like step on it really quick. I have it up here with all my instruments. It makes more sense to me right now how I work, but I could throw it on the floor and tap that. The loops are very quickly, you can switch between them, and basically you select the track to record and you hit record and it's gonna just do it. So I go on track 1, I believe it's an empty loop. Yep, there's nothing in it. So now there's nothing. Now if I play something, let's find a good sound for it. Okay, there you go. So all right, so we're gonna record and check it out, right? So now it's a loop, right? It's gonna keep going. And what it did is actually, I recorded on 1, and when I hit record a second time, it restarts the loop. Keeps recording. I'm not playing right now. Actually, I stopped recording. Track 2 was armed, so now if I hit record anytime, now this is gonna get recorded into track 2, right? So now I'll hit record, Actually, I'm not going to do that, right? So now I can actually change instruments and sort of like preview. You see that? It's going right now. I'm not recording right now, but I can. There you go. You hear it? Now it's on there. Okay, I'm gonna arm. I just armed track 3. It's still going. You see, I like this because you just kind of keep making music. And if I want to, if I still want to like try different things, I stop recording. Now I can play on top, right? I can just kind of make things up. Planet was interesting, I think. Flute. Let's try different things. I have a wind. Let's do that. I'm gonna put some wind on it. Track 3, record. I have the volume all the way down, so what I'm gonna do is bring in the wind sort of like when I want it, and then play with the volume instead of other things, because the sound just comes in hard. It's gonna loop again. You hear the sound? On track 3 now, I just have the wind. See how awesome it is? You can just like make whole songs like this. There we go. Oh. Something else that's amazing is it has actually a kind of a tempo knob here. So watch this. After the fact, I can slow it down. It's wild, right? Yeah, so, hold on. All right, let's switch to this view. Yeah, I look crazy with all my cables and stuff. I actually ordered some in-ear monitors. They're basically super fancy earbuds I can put in there. So you won't see this massive cans on my head. You'll still see the GoPro though, because this is a really cool way to you know, to show you how things work basically. But yeah, you got a chance to check out the SH-2000 and how it sounds and how I play with it, and then the Electro-Harmonix 95,000. It's called, what is it called? It's the Performance Loop Laboratory, right? So it's a Performance Loop Laboratory, and it's really what it is. It sounds, you hear looper, it's like whatever. It's really amazing. You can get whole songs going that way. And it has this, you get into the flow in it is what I really like. And just switching between the loops, there's no loading. Oh, it has a SD card in the back, micro SD. And if you bring that into your computer, the 6 tracks are actually 6 wave files. And the converters on the 95,000 they're really great. It sounds wonderful. And so you bring that into your computer, you can drag the 6 tracks into, you know, Pro Tools, Studio One, whatever you're using. And then you're using your computer after that. You can record 1,000,000 tracks or whatever, and you can have your fancy plugins. So yeah, I'm very happy with the 95,000. I sound like an infomercial. They didn't pay me. I bought this thing. And yeah, and Roland didn't pay me either. 1973 synthesizer. I got it from trading speakers I had that I wasn't using with a friend, and I had no idea what I was getting into and how inspiring the instrument was going to be. That's all for today. Thank you so much for subscribing, and click the like. Trying to get this channel going, and it's going to take a lot of work, and I'm really looking forward to conversing with you and meeting all of you. And we'll do some live at some point, live stuff, and also take your questions. I'd love to know questions you may have about music production. I'll try to answer all of them if I can. So that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in.